Hello, Internet. The Aimless Podcast here with our reactions to the Sony E3 2012 press conference. I'm Taking Master, joined by...
Trioptical.
Go 5. Okay, that's not how it works at all.
That's funny because RPG hasn't been here in so long, and I've totally forgotten how the order goes. But yeah,
So yeah, Jack Trinton loves us, and I love him back. Keep up the good work, Jack.
wow. It was very exciting. It started off very excitingly.
Like they
Well, that was
always
good.
do. And then...
Do they always? Yeah, I guess that's
There's
true.
always like a like Uber montage at the beginning.
Or some type of game where
Yeah,
it's
some
like,
type-
ooh, what's this? And then it kind of starts to fizzle. Fizzle.
I don't know. I mean, you're talking about Wonderbook, right?
Well, I'll get to that because are we still doing like? Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll get to it. but no, because the Wonderbook thing I actually kind of liked. I just didn't like that it went on for so long. I thought the concept itself was actually kind of cool because I've always been like when people started showing like AR stuff, I've always been kind of like supportive of it because I think it's like a pretty cool like feature or whatever, but I just think the whole dwelling on it was just like, okay, it's been 20 minutes now, guys. Let's show Call of Duty or something because my blood sugar's running low or something's going on. I don't know. So just didn't like that it went on for so long. But Wonderbook itself wasn't like a bad thing. It's actually kind of okay with it. But yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
But yeah, they started off with
Beyond.
IP, which
I got
was
goosebumps. I was like, this is what I wished for, yes!
from the people who made Heavy Rain. You guys might have heard of that game. A little title released on the PS3 a little while back.
And then, like, the funniest thing happened when they were showing, like, the demo of the game, and, like, the SWAT team comes in, and the guy's, like, about to open the door. I was, like, so tense. I was like, oh, I was getting the emotions I would get when I play the game. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen when you open the door? What's gonna happen? I was tense. I was like, oh, I can't watch. I was, like, plugging my ears. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? Something gonna jump out and grab him. So,
I had, like, semi-mixed feelings about the trailer that they chose to show, or if it's a demo or whatever, because it's like they went through all this trouble of being like, oh, Ellen Page is going to star as the main character, and then she didn't talk for the entire demo or do any like the acting thing.
I know, that was
so
weird.
It's kind of just like okay, that's great, I guess. So I don't know, but I mean, I guess they probably used her for motion capture too. So I guess her acting by sitting still and emoting kind of was, I don't know. Either way,
I think that was the point. Or it may have been one of the points. I mean, lots of games have voice acting and good voice acting.
Yeah, but
it's
not all of them
a
have
lot
great
harder.
actors.
Yeah, it's hard to get any sort of, she wasn't just sitting there like a statue.
Well, she was for some of it. So,
No, like
but
she was looking around.
I know,
The
but that's
face
what
was reacting and stuff.
well, that's why I said it was somewhat mixed because I mean, she was still, acting. It just was. I guess I'm used to her when I've seen her in movies. I'm used to her also, delivering her lines all Ellen Pagey like. So I was expecting some of that in the trailer, but didn't necessarily get it. But still, it was interesting because part of it I wasn't expecting there was to be like that whole supernatural twist to it because it seemed like she was just being interrogated. The next thing you know, mugs are flying against walls. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? I call shenanigans. And then they started showing off the rest of the, I guess, rapid fire montage of stuff going on, and she's getting chased by stuff and people getting set on fire and all kinds of other stuff. So
yeah, it's kind of like when they showed that, I was kind of like, oh, so you don't get to like have a different cast of characters like in Heavy Rain. But like, I'm cool with that, whatever. So,
but I mean, I think it wouldn't be that much of a problem. Maybe, I mean, I guess if it was in somebody else's hands, I probably would have been worried. But considering how they were able to like craft stories around the characters in Heavy Rain, I think I'm a bit more okay with, it's like, okay, there's only one main character. I'm pretty sure they can handle this whole, crafting everything around the character and making the story.
And he also said like at the end, like if you make the right choices, you'll get to like see what lies beyond or whatever. So
So it's not like emphasized. The game is called Two Souls.
It'll still have like a cool non-linear story arc, I'm sure.
Yeah, so there's probably more to it anyway. But it's like it was an interesting showing because it made me interested in the game anyway. But then, kind of after Beyond, I was like, what else?
I know, right?
Like I'm done.
Nowhere to go but down.
Kind of shot your load early there, Sony. What do we do now?
I think that was kind of the problem.
We just lay here and look at each other awkwardly, but
yeah, I mean, there was so much anticipation, and they have so many studios, and we were sitting around, all the rumors like, oh, there's going to be new this, and this studio's doing this, and this other studio's doing this. I mean, what are all these other studios doing? And so the expectation, I think, was megaton after megaton, new unannounced games. And that didn't really happen. It was just one at the beginning, and the rest of it was not like that at all.
And then they pulled a Microsoft Oprah, and they're like, "You get a free $50 or year subscription to PlayStation Plus. You get a
voucher. You get a voucher.
If you don't even in America, you still get one if you come to our booth and exchange it." Woo!
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I wanted a membership to PlayStation Plus. I feel left out.
And I like I like how he like worded the value of like PlayStation Plus. He's like, $5 a month, you get an instant collection of games, even if you don't get to keep them when you.
I just about to say it.
That part is pretty cool, though. I mean, I guess it's been difficult for them, and working in retail, even people didn't know what it was really. It's just sort of, well, this is a thing. It's like Xbox Live, so you can pay for it. And like, it really isn't. It really isn't.
It's like it's nothing like
yeah. It's like, Xbox Live, you can pay for it. So this is like PlayStation Network, you can pay for it. Like, it's like we just throw this money out there and it disappears.
Gaming. It's just, I actually forgot what they showed. Other than because like you were saying, other than Wonder Book and Beyond, I kind of somebody needs to fill in the spaces for me. I don't know what's going on.
That cool ship battle on the high seas, Caribbean swashbuckling adventures of that Desmond
female assassin chick.
That was really cool, actually. The Assassin's Creed thing.
That was not the chick from the PSP game. Oh, I mean the Vita. I mean that Assassin's Creed Vita game. That was cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was. I mean, you guys were talking about it earlier. There just wasn't the thing that pushed you over the edge. Like, oh, time to buy a Vita.
Yeah, that's what made me sad too, because I was like literally right there, right. Like all I would need was just to blow on me lightly, and I would have flipped right over that edge, and I would have had a Vita the next day. But it just didn't happen. And
I was like, price drop.
It's like it literally could have just been anything, but.
And then I saw that bundle. I was like, ooh, I like silver PSPs. I like bundles, but high price.
Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too.
So I was like,
It's like I haven't played any since the second game. Sorry.
Actually, I haven't either. But I think about it. So. But yeah, it's like So, but I was disappointed because I was really hoping, because it's like the same thing with the Nintendo conference, because I was expecting more of their showings for their handhelds, but it didn't really, happen, which makes me sad because I was kind of hoping there was something that would push me over to go ahead and buy them, because I kind of want one, but it's like, but why? And Tropical's always talking about how awesome his Vita is, and it's like, hey, stop rubbing it in, douchewad. So, I was hoping I would have one, but I don't. I'm sad. Damn it.
It really
Did they show anything for the... See, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, no, there wasn't. I mean, we were talking about it before, how are they going to show Vita games now? Is it going to all be over-the-shoulder camera? And you're watching a guy literally playing the Vita. It's like, no, they didn't show any gameplay really. They showed a trailer, they showed a title image, or who knows what that was, the Call of Duty thing.
Yeah, that was disappointing. I wanted to see gameplay.
Yeah, like that. come they didn't show any of these things? It was very weird.
They showed the crossplay with the PlayStation All-Stars game, but I'm not too high on that game anyway, so I was like, oh, here we go. And then after seeing it, I was even more underwhelmed. I was like, really? It's about points?
They didn't even show that part. I mean, they showed two people holding Vitas, but we didn't see Vita gameplay at all. Yeah.
So we didn't see what it looked like from their perspective of playing it. Just kind of just like they had their Vitas and the other two people were playing with their controllers. So, and that game too was another one that I'm kind of I was expecting them to show off like a bunch of, I guess, interesting stuff about it, but because before when I first heard about it, it just seemed like a Super Smash Brothers clone, and from what they shown, it kind of is just a Super Smash Brothers clone. So I was hoping when they showed it off, it was going to be like, oh, this is different, and you can do this, and it looks like this, and all this other stuff was going to be different, but it wasn't. And the guy kept saying super so much, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm assuming supers are important in this game.
Yeah, it felt like the design came up short on that one, where Smash Brothers arguably has a pretty interesting design as far as fighting games, where it's not about beating the life out of your opponent.
Supers? It's about supers? More supers?
It's about like knocking them off the side of the stage. It's like, oh, that's really cool. But with this one, it's just like it is about beating the life out of your opponent, except
quite literally,
you can only do it one way. Or you can only do it three ways, and the third one takes a lot of just, I don't know, like, what's the rest of the fight for if only the supers are effective?
Effective, yeah. And as I say, too, the rules for the game weren't really that clear when they were showing it, because the guy, like I said, was just really hopped up on, Fat Princess got a super. The Switch got a super. He's going to use a super. There's a super. Level 1 super. There's a level 2 super. He just got a super. There's a super. That's pretty much what the whole explanation devolved into. And I was like, you can literally turn this into a drinking game and die from alcohol poisoning, like right now. So, yeah, that kind of made me sad. Although, bright side though, if it does have like online play, it'll probably work a lot better than Brawls. So
way better.
So
oh my gosh.
So there's that. There's that positive there. One thing I did like though is because it seems like they were going more into the cross-play stuff, which I thought was which I kind of liked, because there's a lot of times where you may not be home, but since some of these games are being released on home consoles and portables now anyway, it's like now you can still play with your friends even though you may not be able to, get home in time and make it for game night or something. But now it's like, oh, I have my portable with me, so it's okay. So I can still play cross-play stuff. So I thought that was kind of a cool feature to kind of put out there for other games to start supporting it or whatever. But I think they only showed the Smash one and Little Big Planet for that one, right? It wasn't like a bunch of games shown for.
Yeah, well, Little Big Planet, they talked about how the Vita is going to become a controller for that game.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff, I guess, that they've shown for Little Big Planet Vita is going to be doable in Little Big Planet 2 on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, they didn't really show it at all. They just said it's happening.
Well then, guess they're guess I can't get too excited about that then either.
At least not from the showing. That was the thing. There was talk, but there wasn't really much showing. Just unfortunate, because it was in video.
Yeah. Oh.
And then, like, a lot of stuff they did demo with third-party stuff, like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, and I was like, oh, well, this isn't exclusive, though. But I'm confused about the co-op mode. Is that only in the PS3 version?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, too, because he's like, oh, we have these exclusive
deals
going on with Ubisoft.
For the PS3. I was like, wait, what?
I was confused. So I didn't know
I'm pretty sure it's going to be in both versions.
But wouldn't that be awesome, though, if they were, since they can't get exclusive games, they can get, like, exclusive, like, co-op stories and stuff like that, so then you'd still be like, well, you're not getting a complete Far Cry edition unless you get it on the PS3. Of course, then that runs into the whole DLC thing, too, because that's why people weren't too happy about that stuff, so It's a lose-lose either way.
I guess what it was, they had the Far Cry DLC exclusive stuff to announce. So, like, okay, well, we do want to show some stuff. We want to bring these people up, but we don't want them to just come out and say, hey, DLC just for PS3. So they had to show something. It's like, well, are they going to show the exact same thing that they showed at Ubisoft? Like, probably not, because family friendly and whatnot. But
yeah, that was a very family unfriendly showing. And since nobody was expecting it, it was even better because everybody's like, "Holy crap,
crazy!" But so why not show something that they haven't shown before just for this conference? And the Assassin's Creed part, that was really cool. It was very different, even in the Assassin's Creed franchise. So, yeah, third party or not, it was very exciting to see.
I was gonna say, like, from now on, after the Gears of War co-op demo and the Far Cry co-op demo, no more co-op shooter demos with, like, people talking while they're playing, and they're like, cover me, dude, and gotta get off the bridge, and we never talk like that when we play games.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, yeah, we really don't do these things when we're playing these games.
Not that much terror going on. It's not like we're an SAS bomb disposal unit trying to take down some terrorists or something. That's not how it goes down. It's like, that is very over-dramatized and unrealistic.
Because, I mean, the most you get from Tekken when playing with him is him screaming randomly. Something pops out of nowhere, so it's like, oh. But I guess if it was like, if they had more strategic co-op and stuff,
Yeah, after I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's going down my list. Far Cry 3 co-op campaign, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like that, too. I was like, oh, Tekken's going to be totally on this. Maybe I'll get it also.
Wait a minute, Borderlands co-op too?
No. It is. I was just about to say, don't forget about
all around the same time.
I know.
Oh, that's true. Crap, I forgot about that. Stupid October.
Stupid fourth quarter game.
Yeah, now it's like you hit October and then there's just 6 months of games.
Don't know what it's like. Now you don't know what to do it yourself. It's like, I don't know if to buy out.
It's like from like after the spring stuff from like the first quarter is like done coming out and like we hit June. It's like kind of dead season. And we hit September. Beginning of September on. It's like 6 months straight. Game releases.
Like, here, you want a game? Here's 6 more this week. Have more. So. Yeah, because a lot of their trailers, too, have been showing it's like spring 2013, March 2013, February 2013. It's like all these games are like being packed into like as few months as possible at the same time. And it's like, well, I can't get them all, guys. Gotta spread these out a bit. So
it's like, what's that? You wanted just to spread it out from the months of October through
I know, right?
May? Here you go.
It's like, that's not what I meant at all.
Then what do you mean RPG? Because I'm pretty happy with that. Every month, tons of games.
Yeah, but then we get to these months where there's like nothing, and I've been so burned out that I can't even play the games I bought before. So it's like,
that's when you get to play them.
But by then, it's too late, Trioptical. I'm like, okay, I bought like 70 games in the past 3 months, and I've played 4 of them, and I don't even have the energy to play the rest of them. I just don't know. And this is why we have backlogs that never get touched, because it's just I get burned out and there's nothing I can do about it.
Anyway, finally there was God of War and Last of Us, which I thought were both really awesome. Although I thought the Last of Us demo was kind of not that great.
Really? I thought that was a mind-blowing, spine-tingling, amazing demo, and I was like, Last of Us, you're on the list. Let's do this. It like reminded me of like the dark grittiness I felt when I played The Darkness, and I was like ripping dudes' hearts out and eating them, and I was like, it was like this gen started with the darkness or dark side. Or
dark
going dark,
and
it's going to end with going dark this fall when I get The Last of Us, and I'm all, and see, that's the other thing, is like okay, you have like 6 bullets or something, like you had like no ammo, so it's like dudes are coming out of nowhere, and it's like I ain't got no ammo, and then you're like getting stuff out of your bag, and it like takes longer than it usually does if you have a radial menu. And like, oh crap, I gotta hurry get my Molotov cocktail. Get your Molotov cocktail out, burn some dudes. But then there's still more dudes coming for you. Oh, that's the other thing. This game is not about just zombies, but there's zombies and dudes trying to kill you. Maybe some ladies in there too, I don't know. But this is dudes trying to kill you.
Wasn't it kind of like the premise of I Am Alive, though? It's like you're kind of up against the survivors, because that's what's really the dangerous one, or that's who's the most dangerous, the people who are actually, you know, trying to survive too, as opposed to just the zombies. I mean, because they can't take food from you and your supplies. They just kind of want to eat you.
And they can't shoot you.
Yeah, but the survivors can, though. So
I got to this point where like it kind of reminded me of Eco, but like a really dark Eco, because like the dude was all like, "Come over here, lady," whatever her name is. Wow. He like called the little girl over like from the stairs or whatever. So like I don't know if you can like leave her in a spot or like call her over to you, or if she like automatically comes over to you when you're getting choked down and you need her to stab some dude in the back, which was awesome.
Did they say there was going to be co-op in the game, by the way? Or?
What? I don't think they did.
Apparently the point is one of the design goals is to make this AI character that's really smart, that follows you around and isn't, it's not like a escort mission all the way through. Yeah, it's supposed to be really intelligent. So you saw her like picking up the brick and throwing the brick on her own accord, and like the jumping on the guy and stabbing him.
That was so cool. That was
really neat.
Probably traumatizing.
But yeah, what I felt was sort of disappointing was the games. They're all about story now. They feel more like story games. And this was the setup was very typical of video games. You go into an area and there's a bunch of guys and you kill all of them and then you move on.
I actually felt that too. I was like, wait, they didn't really say why they were looking for supplies. They're just, and then like when they come upon
the like,
live? But then like when they come upon the people, they're not like, oh, let's talk to them and like maybe not try to like have us all kill each other. They're like, oh, quick hide, and then like dude just like kills the guy like by choking him from behind like for no reason. It's like,
well, when you think about it, though, that's kind of realistic though, because when people are in a worldwide crises and like supplies are low, everything's been destroyed, you don't know who's your enemy, who's going to take supplies for you, you don't know how you're going to survive to the next day. It's kind of like you're not as rational as you would be in like any given situation where you have a grocery store you can go to and buy food. It's kind of like, oh, there's this strange guy walking into my room, so now I don't know if this same guy is going to steal my supplies and leave me here to starve and die, or if I'm going to be able to befriend him and he'll be able to help me later or something. So it's just the whole...
Well, yeah, that makes sense, but they went into a situation where they were outnumbered anyway and proceeded to just attack everybody.
Yeah, it seemed to me like the logical thing to do in that situation would just be hide outside. I mean, they're not going to come out and look for supplies. They're looking in the drawers in all the rooms. And, the main characters, they were sitting outside, by this air conditioning unit. Reasonably, if there's a bunch of guys with guns and you got 4 bullets, you're going to sit around and just wait for them to go away. But that didn't happen. They went in and Predator style, like, we're going to take them out.
I also like the mechanic where like you put your gun up to the head of an enemy when like the other enemy is in cover and they'll like come out of cover to be like, I gotta get my dude, and then you just kill him.
Yeah, that part actually seemed kind of weird to me, but it was cool that your hostage would struggle and it would actually mess up your aim.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that was just like really dark, and I was like, man, I can't wait to play this game. It's so violent and evil.
Wow.
Cannot wait. And in the end, man, that was so wow. I was like, wow. So good, so good.
For what now? What's going on?
The Last of Us, when he shot the dude in the face, and he's like, no, don't shoot me. And he like, pop, bam, splat. I was like, oh! Oh, that's so good. Oh! Like, yep, Last of Us on list now. Thank you. Cannot wait.
Not really convinced. You know how I feel about escort missions and
like a theme
zombies.
This year. Breaking people's faces in whatever means
random
possible.
Items. Yeah. It's like, what? I got an arrow, stab you in the chin. This got a gun, shoot you in the face. What's this? I don't have a weapon, push your head into a building. It's like people are just really really angry this year. I don't know what's going on.
You guys hid into like that drawer or whatever, and it was like brains were all over, and it was like, wow, that's amazing.
It's like okay, this is necessary, I guess. But like I said, people don't think rationally in situations like this, so.
I have graduated from eating hearts to smashing brains.
So.
Speaking of brains, that God of War demo, man, that was so brutal.
Wow.
That was
awesome segue.
And kind of gross.
At one point, I was like, okay, I haven't really played through the God of War games, so I'm like, are there usually like animal type enemies? Because they had like a goat dude, and then like an
Greek mythology is kind of heavy with the animal people, so it's like that's how you have like the Gorgons and your Minotaurs and.
Well, yeah, I know like Gorgons, Minotaurs, and Centaurs, but like those are like ones I've not seen before.
Satyrs.
Like, about bipedal goats or elephant people, but I guess it works, so whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. A lot of people felt that the God of War part was pretty much the same as any other God of War showing that they've done. For me, though, like last time when we saw God of War 3, I thought, oh, wow, this is really the same as God of War 2 or God of War 1. But with this one, maybe it was just like subconsciously, but it felt really different. And I think it's because, there was different types of enemies. I mean, in the God of War 3 demo, it was, there was like undead rising out of the ground, and then you just sort of ripped them to pieces. Like, well, that happened in God of War 2 also. And it's like, oh, there's a, Cyclops, and you ripped out its eye. And like, well, you didn't exactly rip out its eye in the past games, but you did kill Cyclops, or
Cyclops
whatever.
Eye?
Cyclopses? But in this one, it was like, oh, these are different types of enemies. These are different. On-screen prompts were different. Usually when you knock down a guy to a certain amount of health, there's like a circle that appears over him, and that didn't happen in this one. It looked like, I don't know, maybe you can push whatever you want now, and you can do different things.
It might still be circle. They probably just don't bother with the prompts anymore, because people who've played the games in the past probably kind of know. It's like, oh, this guy, he's down. That means I could go ahead and brutally finish him, because killing him a normal way wouldn't be okay, so... We take this Chaos Blade, shove it up his face, and then take his head and then shove it up his ass, and then throw him off a building, because I'm Kratos. It's how that usually works.
But it was just, there was presentation stuff that was very different than the other ones. And, having that elephant enemy, it's a bigger enemy, but it feels like a different type of enemy now. And graphically, it actually does look a lot better than God of War 3. A lot of people, I think, said God of War 3 looked kind of rough in places. And this one just seemed very polished.
That looked very super smooth. When I was watching that, I was like, wow, this looks even better, which is crazy because they looked insane.
I don't know. For me, when I saw it, it's like, it kind of just, I mean, I played the first two, so I don't know. I guess for me, it just seemed like more of the same because it's, the whole brutally making your way through whatever is to do whatever. Because I still don't know when this game takes place in the storyline or whatever, but... I mean, there were some cool mechanics that were added, like the little time.
Yeah, that was cool. Like the levitation time stasis thing. That was weird.
So there was that because he's like rebuilding his thing so he can platform up the tower or using enemies so they're like suspended for a finishing attack or whatever. I mean, so there was like some stuff in there, but for the most part, it was kind of just like, it's God of War. So it's not anything I wasn't expecting from the game, except for they added multiplayer for. So.
I was going to mention that. Like, we totally called that. We were talking about the tester on a mirror match that one time. We're like, when they went to Sony Santa Monica and like they were playing, and like we're like, were they playing the new God of War? But they had multiplayer.
Oh yeah, that's
multiplayer.
It's like they have multiplayer.
And like we're like, what other game could it be?
Yeah, it was probably God of War.
Nice
way to be. They really do just multiplayer and everything now.
I would.
For the big physique.
They don't even care.
But wait,
and it's multiplayer.
Gosh. I do still need to get the third one though.
Yeah, you should really check it out. I mean, it seems we gamers, it's weird. We have different perceptions of things. I mean, people who don't play shooters, like my wife, every time I play a different military shooter, she'll look at it and be like, it's exactly the same game. And me as the player who's played all of them is like, no, they're different. Like, this one feels like this, and this one feels like this, and, they look different and stuff. And I think most people can do that, but then sometimes they'll look at games and say, oh, they're exactly the same, just in the way that people who have no idea what they're talking about say it. Like the All-Stars game. Like, yeah, this is exactly like Smash Brothers. Like, well, it really isn't. Or like God of War. Like, oh, they're all the same. Like, they actually are pretty different from each other.
Yeah. As far as we know, anyway. I mean, although there are some shooters I've played, and they kind of feel similar to each other. But I mean, there are differences in the genre where you have like your Rainbow Sixes and stuff like that that differentiate themselves in the genre. So they're not all the same. But I guess for like a casual onlooker, everything looks the same. So, It's like, weren't you just playing this game? Well, no, because I was playing Tekken, and now I'm playing Mass Effect. These are two different games, guys. Non-gamers. Sheesh.
Oh man, I forgot to bring that up in the Nintendo thing. That was weird when he said that. I was like, did you just say non-gamers? Had they said that before? I'm confused. Maybe it's just been a while since I've seen them say that, but that was weird. Did we talk about the Assassin's Creed 3 boat thing?
Kind of.
On the high seas.
Somewhat. We touched on it.
We name-checked it.
Okay.
Name check.
Cool. I really like that part. It's new for the franchise.
I thought it was cool.
As far as we know.
See, I would like a game like of just that. Like of just on the high seas, shooting other ships, and
So
like being a pirate.
Being a pirate?
Yes. It's like, why isn't there a pirate game? Seriously. We have ninja games.
I think there are, actually.
Why can't there be pirate
They're
games?
just PC-based and not... They don't look like that, necessarily.
It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to lament on that too much, but whatever. Because it's so cool, like, when, like, their weather system was, like, working, and it was, like, all storming, and the ships were all shooting, and it was like, oh, man. It makes it look like the graphic novel by Lewis Stevenson, that one I can't think of right now.
That's part of the reason why I've wanted to play the games in the series, because, I mean, I played the first two, and that's it. I haven't played, like, the Revelations or Brotherhood, but I know they've always added, like, new, I guess, forgot the word I'm looking for this, but it's like new, I guess, features or additions or something to the games where it's like, it's not just all about you eavesdropping or doing assassination. It's like other stuff going on too, where you kind of have, it's kind of necessary for you to get your job done and do your magic animus stuff, things, and whatever's going on with this series story at this point.
For me, the reason I got roadblocked on 2 is just because people said it was longer than the first one, and then they said it was like really long if you want to get everything done. So I never popped it in.
It's not that much longer. And besides, it's like I said before, because when I played the first one, I really didn't like it. But the second one was a lot more, I guess, what I wanted from the first one. So it was a lot more entertaining than just that piece of crap that came out first.
It was way better. Come on.
It was just like, why wasn't the first game like this? Then I could have been all on board for the series having sequels and stuff. Because, like, yay, because I was really skeptical about buying Assassin's Creed 2 once. After playing 1, I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. Why would people be telling me this is all so awesome? It's not. So I was glad that wasn't the case with the second one, because I would have been very not amused having been tricked a second time.
I think that's funny how, like, the first game in the franchise is so, like, hit or miss, but it has gone, like, on to be, like, a like, a AAA monster franchise of, like, yearly edition every year. Yeah. Thanks, Ubisoft.
Speaks to the power of money rather than reviews.
You mean sales as far as, like, it being really, really popular?
Yep.
Okay.
Like, we don't care that everyone hated it. Well, most people hated it. I can't even say that. Some people hated it. Lots of people bought it, so we're going to make more.
But to be fair, we didn't know we were not going to like it when the first one came out. It's one of those things you have to jump on there and try. Then go ahead and it's like, hey, this is awful. But later on, you can give it another chance once it's cheap and like in a $5 bin somewhere. It's like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try you now. Don't disappoint me. I hurt you. And then you can be friends with it again.
So, did all that stuff, did any of you care about, or did either of you care about any of that, like, PlayStation Mobile thing they talked about for, like, bringing their PlayStation stuff to, like,
I didn't even know what it was until...
I'm actually really excited about that, just because, say, like, the App Store. You know, the reason that there's an app for everything on iPhone is because developers are allowed to develop for that platform. And when I say developers, I mean everyone. Anyone who's capable can make something for the iPhone. So, yeah, if you need a tip calculator, you can get that because someone out there thought, hey, some people are going to want this.
I have that.
So with PlayStation Mobile, that opens up the PlayStation platforms. Like, especially, it's especially cool because it works for Vita as well. People will be able to make apps for Vita. So, like, right now, there's a lot of things that I can do on my smartphone that I can't do on my Vita, and I feel like it would be really cool because the Vita, just the hardware is better than my phone. And if I could do these things on my Vita instead of my phone, that would make me really happy. And by opening it up with PlayStation Mobile, that, is not a pipe dream. It could possibly happen.
What was PlayStation Suite before this anyway?
It's the same thing. It's just a name change. It's basically PlayStation wanted to have, essentially like the App Store, like the Android, or what's it called now, Google Play. They wanted to have something like that. Mm-hmm. And we can see where the future is going, right? The hardware matters less and less, it seems. Because, like, if you look at all of the 3 press conferences, everyone mentioned Amazon Instant Video. Everyone mentioned Hulu Plus, Netflix, and YouTube.
Digital.
Yeah, like, it's on everything. So, does it really matter which platform you watch these things on? No.
No console future.
Yeah, so they're looking at that and saying, okay, so, how do we get into this space without forcing everyone to buy Sony phones, which is, how the console space works. But you're never going to be able to go out and just say, here's the ultimate phone, it beats everyone, and it's a Sony, everyone go buy it, and then
and you won't have to get another one. You will not have to upgrade no less than 12 months from now.
Yeah, like 10-year life cycle for this
only.
phone.
10-year life cycle for this phone.
I mean,
if only that
existed.
Insane.
When we make first contact with aliens, ...
So, like, that's what PlayStation Mobile is. Like, well, this is the other way to do it. Instead of saying, you have to buy this phone, we'll just say, hey, there's this software, it's available on basically everything except for the Apple stuff, and, you can experience PlayStation like that. And it's like, for a lot of people, that's much more compelling than saying I have to buy a Sony phone. Like, I have this Android phone that I already like, and I'm going to be able to play PlayStation stuff on it. That's really cool.
Yes, because I heart my Android phone.
Too bad Tekken doesn't have a smartphone.
Yeah, seriously, it's 2012.
Or a tablet. ...
Soon you won't have a choice.
Says you. ...
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. It's going to suck, but
for him,
yeah, it is. Like, data plan. I hate
I will never submit.
You will, because eventually they're going to only be making smartphones. You're not going to have a choice, or just not have a phone.
I don't even have a cell phone now, though.
I'm okay.
Anyway, I'm a big fan of PlayStation Mobile. I think it's going to be really cool. Not really sure what the submission process is for apps or anything like that yet, but
are you making apps?
I want to, and I can now. So that's really cool. It's exciting.
I think you should do it and do
It'd be
lots
fun.
of them.
So, Last Guardian, MIA. What do we think it's canceled?
That was just MIA, not
in the works still.
I'm starting to think it might be a next gen game.
Oh.
Because they promised so much, and now they're getting to the point where it's like, wow, we can't show this unless we fulfill some of those promises. And then they've gotten to the point where like, maybe we can't do all these things we said we would do on the PS3. There is the next one, and maybe that's what's going to happen. It's going to come out, it's going to look even better, and it's unfortunately not going to be on the system we already have.
Which you have to spend $700 to play it. You're welcome. So, I don't know.
I guess I agree with that, because it just, I don't expect them to show it at TGS either, so. And I want to believe it's still being made.
Nope. Might as well give up on that hope. I've already given up hope on a lot of things.
So Shuhei Yoshida came in, he's like, you know what, just like Getaway 3 and that other game I used to talk about, I'm going to put this game in stasis, and he breathed on it and it froze.
Oh. That's sad. Yeah, I don't know, it's just... But then again, there's also the chance that they may show something during this week, because like we said before, it's not like all the conferences are kind of lacking in terms of showing off stuff we've seen before, or I mean, they showed off like major titles that they're going to use to like sell their console or sell their whatever's, like Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty and stuff like that. Yeah, because like, I don't even know, just
sell their DLC,
selling whatever they're pawning off on us now. So it's like, so you knew that you're going to see stuff like your Call of Duties and your Assassin's Creeds and stuff like that. So it's possible that we may see more information about it this week, it just wasn't planned for the conference itself. So I mean, there's always that, but I mean, I wouldn't get my hopes up, but just saying it's possible. Stuff happens. So, but I don't know. There's things I was kind of hoping to see from last year that didn't get shown too, like that Overstrike game from Insomniac.
Oh yeah.
They didn't say anything about that, and there was Borderlands 2 didn't even make an appearance in anybody's conferences, even though it is up there. Who's publishing that anyway?
2K.
No. So, but yeah, it's like there's just stuff that was missing in general. So I wouldn't be. So it's possible that other stuff will get shown outside.
I know it wasn't shown. We didn't see this motion connect whatever game. The killer app for this move or connected. Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Because Move was relatively absent.
Yeah, they showed
altogether.
The book game.
Yeah, it was the book. It basically,
exactly.
I guess it did go the way that I thought it would go, where it wasn't really a focus. It was just sort of, these things have move.
Yeah.
But we're not really going to talk about it. I mean, actually, it was in the montage. There's a part with Portal 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a move DLC coming out for Portal 2.
I was wondering why that was in there. I was like, why is Portal 2 in here? This game's old.
It came out forever ago.
It's actually really cool. You have to go find it right now. I don't think it's on any of the E3 sites yet. But iWaggle 3D, they found it, and it's like, yeah, this is it's actually one-to-one motion control for Portal 2, and it looks really awesome. It actually changes the mechanics of the game, and then you have they're also patching in full support for Move into the full campaign. It's really neat. Take my word for it.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we heard you.
Tekken. But it's just, does this mean they're pretty much giving up on the Move?
You know what? I'm wondering. I'm wondering. I wonder how hard they're going to push motion controls next gen or on their next gen console to make it somehow backwards compatible or something like that, just to not have to worry about it. It's like, are they even going to try to do something new to repeat the success of the Wii, which is not repeatable?
Because the Wii still has the Wii votes for the Wii U, and I guess Kinect is going to continue on with whatever the hell they plan on doing. So I'm curious to see is whether or not Sony's gonna
Connect
the move, because I mean, like the iToy they tried to do, and they kind of just dropped that and stopped caring. The PSI itself, they kind of, I mean, it's been included in stuff like this Wonder Book or whatever, but like the Move, it's kind of just, you know, there so the whole package works, not necessarily, oh, we're doing this stuff so it's in, like kind of like the Eye of Judgment was for the PSI thing, I guess is what I'm going with, but...
My guess is they're not really going to push it that hard until they can find that thing that really changes the game. Because, yeah, like, it would be... You would have to be really out of touch with your own industry to just come out and say, hey, yeah, you know, push it that second time with the same old stuff. It just... Like, last year arguably was the first time, so we expected them to push it at that time. I mean, if you don't push it then... when are you going to push it? But now, you know, this is the second year, and they're sort of like, well, there really isn't anything that I think is going to change the game, so we're not going to push it right now. But if they can come up with that thing, you know, maybe that's when you push it.
But by then, would anyone care? Or?
Well, as long as they just keep it to where, like, you can have the Move or controller, that whole strategy, that works.
Yeah. See, and I think that works with most stuff, because there is no...
Then I'd have no reason to buy a Move,
You have
though.
to use Move in this thing, because that's why it's awesome. That game doesn't exist right now.
But the question is, will it ever? Because, I mean, are they just going to drop the Move once they start working on their next-gen stuff? Because, I mean, they could easily bury it without people caring, because if they try to push the Vita and push their next-gen console and stuff next year, people will probably be like, what was the Move again? So it's like they could get away with burying it if they wanted to, and no one would have second thoughts about it. Well, I mean, I guess people who bought it would, but... I
think they should... Well, it seems like they could easily have all of this stuff work on the next one. And, you know, maybe put a high-resolution camera there.
So...
This is... it's kind of it's a different time now. I mean, Bluetooth is not a Sony technology. It's just in the PS3. Makes it convenient. You can put it in the next one pretty easily. And why not? It works. So, yeah. USB is ubiquitous.
But didn't they start taking USBs off of the PS3s that they started to make more of them? So I wouldn't.
No, I'm just like Kinect. I think it would be a simple matter to put Move into the next system. It just depends on if they can find, you know, yeah, it's going to be software. If they can find worthwhile reasons to keep Move there,
they won't. Spoiler alert.
Oh, never mind. This isn't related to what we're talking about. Oh, shut up.
Way to go. So, yeah. I don't know.
So, is there anything left to discuss about Sony and their press conference?
I like AR stuff. Somebody should do something cool with that.
Yeah, I do too.
There was, which reminds me, there was a game I think showed off, it might have been for the Vita, called, Pulsar or something, but it was like this puzzle game that was AR based, where you like use the cards or whatever to create these little targets, or make these little targets, and you have to like reflect the laser to make it go into this target thing to shoot off a missile or something.
It was on the blog, right?
Yeah, I think and it was like, it's like games like that. I mean, stuff like that seems kind of cool, like a cool feature to use or stuff. I haven't seen like other AR stuff used for other games, because I don't have a Vita, so I don't know. But I'm assuming, because didn't like one of the Resistance games or something on the Vita use AR too for something, or was that just something in a commercial I saw?
Yeah, it was like that commercial thing. You can actually download that for free. So you can actually have that statue. It's not really a game.
That makes me sad, because I thought there was like stuff they added for AR stuff or whatever to make it, but I don't know. I guess wishful thinking. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a Pokemon game for Oh wait, that's not Sony at all.
Wow, I just thought about something. Like, they went through a whole Nintendo thing and they didn't say Pokemon at all.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
But I mean, what would they really announce for the Wii U for
the
Pokemon?
3DS thing
Well, I'm just
later.
saying. I'm not
Like a new Pokemon Snap with AR? Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Take it. But, yeah.
See, there's like no. There's like no like fanboys go crazy moment besides Pikmin 3. It's like,
I know. I was excited about that, but then that was all I got excited about. And I can't buy a Wii U just for Pikmin 3, unfortunately, so that makes me sad. So maybe so now part of me is kind of hoping they do release it on the Wii, so I wouldn't have to worry about it at all. But yeah, back to Sony though. Vita.
Well, I want to watch stuff now. Yeah, no, because of what we were talking about earlier. There is more to see. There's more E3 stuff to see.
Thankfully,
beyond the conferences now, which is
all
so awesome. Like, I'm waiting for a Last of Us presentation coming up in a moment. Unfinished Swan is going to be shown later today.
oh yeah, that game looks cool. That's the other thing. Like, I like the whole PSN thing they did. Like, their whole, like, we have 200 games coming, where you just keep rolling out awesome games like Journey. I was like, yeah, PSN, I love you. Keep up the good work, Jackson. Yes.
Yeah, that part's awesome.
I don't know what Unfinished Swan is.
It's cool. Trust me.
Is
You
it?
should. I'll tell you when it's on.
Okay.
Because live shows are going on all day today and tomorrow. Lots of stuff that I want to see. Stuff that wasn't even touched on in the conferences. So, good.
Which I kind of wish they would have, though. So at least I can have an idea of what there was going to be for me on the show floor.
Oh, RPG. Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up here, unless someone else has anything to interject with.
Nope.
Alright, so that's it for Sony. We'll probably be back with some more... we will be back with some more stuff to talk about. Thanks for listening, and keep on checking on aimlesspodcast.com, and yeah, until you hear or see from us again, we are now signing off. Rep day, woo, peace be, peace, woo!